Good morning, Team Wilpers. It's Friday. And you know what that means. This is my favorite part of Friday. I love waking up to all of you. And anyways, quick introduction for those of you who are new here. I'm Lorri Lown, and I am one of the cycling coaches with Team Wilpers. I've been coaching for almost 25 years. It'll be 25 years in December. And I've been an athlete, an endurance athlete for about 30. I've been mostly cycling, also running, and doing a little endurance hiking in a few weeks. I'm going to hike the Grand Canyon. I'm super excited about that, and a little nervous. It's like, did you do enough training when you do something new? You don't know. Anyways, I've been working with Matt and Team Wilpers for the last 5 years since I came on board as a bike fitter in the pandemic when everybody bought a Peloton. And a couple of years ago, I took over the Peloton cycling classes, the challenges, the training blocks, whatever we want to call them. So anyways, super excited to be here. Highlight of my Friday morning. I want to share something with you all. In my latest installment of things Lorri has learned that everyone else in the world already knew, I shared with you my new hat. I'm going to wear this in the Grand Canyon. And I was talking about how small my head is, which it is. And then I pulled out another one of my hats from the same manufacturer, and I was like, oh, look, it has an adjustment in the back. And I had looked at this one, and I was like, why would they do this? There's no adjustment. And then I realized, go ahead and laugh, that there is an adjustment. You have to find it under the edging, the seams of the hat, and then you can make it smaller. Isn't that silly? So I made it as small as it would go because my tiny head, and now it fits, and I'm very excited. So in case you didn't know, there is an adjustment on the back of the hat. You can make it bigger or smaller, so it'll fit your pea-sized head or your melon-sized head. So there is the latest installment of things Lorri now has learned. That's about it. So here we are, Fall Multi-Sport Challenge. My contact is getting weird. I can't read my notes. We have one more week to go. And tomorrow we have a live ride with Matt. We were chatting yesterday a bit and working on the format for tomorrow. And it should be a really good class. I think you're going to enjoy it. And we've got some exciting classes coming up for the fall as well. So once we finish this challenge, we're going to send out a survey to everyone and find out what you liked, what you didn't like, why you signed up, why you didn't sign up. So what could we do differently? We really want your feedback. This was a new format, and I really would like to know what you think of it. So I think my impression has been everyone's having a lot of fun, but yeah, let us know what you think. So look for that after we finish. Next week should be exciting, week 5. Let's do it again, right? So we're going to do our Peloton Triathlon again next Saturday. We've got it on the calendar at 9 a.m. Eastern, just like we did last time with Matt Live. I'm going to post a poll, and let's see if there's another time on that day as well. So we might have 2 where we'll do a second group, and we'll see what you think. So join us, do one or all of the classes. And Matt and I were talking about that yesterday too. First of all, he's super excited about doing multi-sport. And I agree. I think variety builds a better athlete. Variety builds a better person. If we all did the same thing or ate the same thing or wore the same thing, we'd be pretty boring and not very well-rounded. So this is a great time of year for us to add a little variety into what we do, and it might stick. So you may find that there is a class format that you really like that you hadn't explored before, and you can add it into your training as a little something extra to do. But anyways, he was also excited to hear that we were going to do the triathlon again. And it's important for us to set benchmarks, I think, as individuals. Some people can be motivated without metrics. I'm not one of those people. I like keeping tabs on everything. It's the OCD. I log things, I record things, I compare things, and I know some of you are like that too. Marlon, who posts all his comparison graphs of all the rides he's done multiple times. And that's what we're doing with this. So it's a good experience to be able to look back and think about what you can do differently this time. If you participated in the triathlon last time, what can you do this time that might make the experience better? So things like nutrition or hydration. Those are easy ones, right? Clothing choices, shoe choices. How are you going to make your transition? Set a plan for that. What will you have set out at each of your stations? What do you need at each of your stations, right? What will you be taking from one to another? So think about how you can change your format, how you can do it differently, how you can improve. And feel free to share that with us. We pop it right in the event, and we can think about and help each other improve for this time. That's about it. I don't have a lot today. I want to talk a little bit about our next challenge. It will begin on October 27th, and registration, I think, opens next week. It may be the following week, and it will be a base building challenge. So in the fall, traditionally, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, we go into what we call a transition season, which is what we're doing right now. So do something a little different, keep your overall health and fitness up, but maybe take a break from your primary sport and do something a little different. So you don't go too far away from your fitness, but it also helps alleviate some burnout. So next, what we want to do is build our foundation. So we're going to build our foundation for the year, really build that solid base. And I will say, in the past, we've called this an endurance challenge. It's not all endurance, because we don't want to do all endurance all the time. There is value in that, especially for folks who are training high volume. If you're training 20 hours a week, sure, do mostly zone 2. There's huge benefit to that. Right, Ken Miller? But if you're training a lower volume, we want to make sure that we're still adding in a little intensity. We want to build that base. But we want to keep the high end a little bit too, because we still want to keep all parts of the engine running. So next challenge is going to be interesting, because I'm programming 1 day a week of interval training, including some of Christine's new sprint interval training classes. I think especially women of a certain age will appreciate that. Christine and I were having a good chat about which of her classes will fit into that, even from before, when they started labeling them sit. So super important there. And there'll be some other interval type classes too, but I think it will be good to experience those. We will feature Matt's live rides again on Saturdays when he is live. There's a couple of exceptions, like when he'll go to Greenville. And I think there's also a studio shutdown in there. So, and now we're going to spice it up a little with Christian Vandeveld's real routes. So that should be really fun. Still a lot of endurance foundational work, but with a little bit of spice in there too, just to keep us fresh. It should be a really good challenge. I want to say thank you to everybody who answered my poll this week. One of the things that I like to think about is, what is the barrier to entry to one of our programs? You know, obviously there's the time barrier. We want to make sure that people register within a certain window and all of that. But also for newer athletes and newer riders, we want to make sure that we eliminate any barriers that you couldn't participate. So one of the things that I've focused on is, if we do a class that's longer or harder, how do we fit that in? And how does someone who is newer or returning to the bike after a break, how do they fit in? And so what we're going to do for the next challenge, and thank you all for your feedback on durations, I appreciated that. We'll follow the same format regardless of what class you take, but we will have a standard program, and then we'll also have a shorter version of each of those classes too, except the 30 minutes. We're not going to go shorter than 30 minutes. So if it's 30, you do the 30. But if I have a 60-minute class and you really need something shorter in your life for whatever reason, you know, you got to go to work, or you just don't want to do an hour ride. We'll have those in there too. So look for that. I really, really, really appreciate the feedback. Yeah, so we're going to lower that barrier to entry. I really want to see folks embrace this challenge. So it'll be an 8-week challenge. It'll take us right to the end of the year, and then we're going to start a New Year challenge. And I'll just share with you, I was thinking about this morning. We always talk about winter heroes, summer zeros, right? The people who do too much high intensity, they peak in the winter, and then they have nothing left in the summer. And there's a bunch of quotes about this. One might be, summer gains are built in the winter, right? So when we look at our fitness cycle, whatever we do in the winter is going to have a huge impact on how you perform in season, in the summer. And for those of you who are also outdoor athletes, this is really important. We want to build that strong foundation. We want, Dennis said one day, we don't invite the roofers to come before the basement is built. And I thought that was interesting. I'd never heard that before, right? So we want to build that foundation. It needs to be strong. You can only do high intensity so long if you don't have a big base. So we're building base. The other quote that I really like, and I sent to the person who does our marketing, winter miles equal summer smiles, right? I think that's great. So we're going to build some winter miles and some summer smiles in our next challenge, and it should be really fun. So I encourage you, especially, like I said, our outdoor riders, really think about what you're doing in the winter. You can't go hard all the time. So be selective about when you're going to do the hard training and when you're going to do your foundational training. So that'll be good. Lots of big news from Peloton this week. And not only hardware changes, but more importantly, I think, a lot of interesting software changes, some AI features, and a lot of community building features. So the group leads and I have been chatting about that and how we can incorporate that into our platform, into our Team Wilpers programs. I also posted a poll this morning. It wouldn't let me put a pretty color on there. I think I had too many words. Anyways, I posted a poll this morning asking for your feedback on what the new features are. So let us know what you think as we're clicking around, because we're all discovering new things. And if there's something you really like and you think it might be something we can incorporate with Team Wilpers, let us know. I know our team leads or our group leads are already clicking through and finding things, and we will meet to discuss all of that and what we might be able to use as a community. So there's some really nice features, I know. Let us know what you think. And yeah, and then the hardware. We don't need to discuss the hardware. That's always a contentious issue, but there's some exciting stuff and some exciting stuff coming down the line. So I think that's kind of it for today. I don't have a lot, just the basics, right? We know that the challenges are on the Team Wilpers platform, and you've got your PDFs there, and the 3 free classes are on the Team Wilpers Facebook page. So all of that. All access is available. So for those of you who want to do more than just our free challenge, the 5-ride challenge is awesome. And then you also have access to all our strength programs, our cycling programs, our running programs. I know some of you have been doing our outdoor cycling programs. So Guy's doing a century and using that program. So let us know what you think, Guy, of that program. But you can access any of those features, and I would say join your chat groups on Facebook, but we know that they are going away soon, and we are reviewing alternatives to that with the group leads this weekend. So we will have hopefully some solutions for us soon, but feel free to post anything on the Facebook group, the Team Wilpers Facebook group, and that's about it. So train together this weekend, enjoy Matt's live ride, and I will see you next Friday at the same time. This might be the fastest I've ever gone through an athlete briefing, but thank you for everybody who joined me this morning. Go look at your hats. Look at that. There's an adjustment. And have a great weekend.